Can we have some of the oranges fall out the back of the car during the chase?
Just a road of Veyrons.
I mean, when it's done, it's going to be great.
When it's done, it's going to be. It's going to exist.
It's going to be the best car chase.
It's going to be the best car chase done in 2 hours. So we don't have Carl with us today, but we thought we'd try something
Crazy.
quite crazy. We're going to try and make a car chase live. We'll see where we get. We don't.
So,
We don't.
if you're on the chat, say hello so we know people are watching.
Yeah, if you're here, say hi.
If you have any questions
if you have any questions as
about what's going on, I certainly will have some questions because Josh is the visual effects person. I'm not.
So, for anyone who
Captain Magic Fur is in, and Akka's 29.
Well, that's not very nice.
Hashtag mute Josh.
Well, that's fine.
Brilliant.
I'll guess I'll just.
That's much better. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're not Akka. You're not Akka's 29's like.
Well, we do. So this week we're going to be trying to create a scene live. I've no idea how far we're going to get. We're going to set ourselves about 2 hours, and we'll see what we do. Let me chuck Blender as our main screen. Here it is, the lovely Blend 3D. So the way we're going to do this is, hopefully, I'll be setting up animation within Blender. We're going to be using models off of turbosquid.com, free models which you can go and grab yourself. I should give credit to these lovely people who have made these things and spent their time doing these things and giving them away for free.
Yeah, Turbo Squid is a great resource if you're just looking to test things out.
Absolutely.
It saves you a lot of time.
If you want some free stuff, there's a load of free assets on Turbo Squid. I will put the link in the chat to the Turbo Squids. That is Turbo Squid for anyone who cares to join us. And of course we're in Blender today, which is a completely free program as well. So the good news is, if you've got a computer that will handle it, you too could do this in Sanity.
Follow along.
If you really wanted to. Why you'd want to do this, I don't know. Maybe
I'm not even going to follow along.
No. See, this
no.
So those two things I've just posted, that's turbosquid.com, where you can get a load of models. There's loads of like incredibly brilliant paid models if you should so wish to have something that's production quality. And Blender, of course, which is this amazing program, which has been a project which has gone for years and years and years to build this software.
So if you're on Turbo Squid and you're looking for 3D models for Blender, what's the best file format to get? Because there's quite a few, and there's different programs.
So yes, to start purely on a technical note. So what I'm using, let me get one of these in. Let's have the most expensive one in terms of money. Anyway, it's this Bugatti Veyron. It's missing its back glass, but you know, oh well, never mind. It's very shiny.
I'll still take one.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's a Veyron. So the way that I tend to operate nowadays is with FBX files, which is essentially a scene within a file, and it transfers across. So I use it quite a lot because you can take FBXs from Blender or into Blender from other places. So if you download them off the internet, for example, you can bring them into Blender nice and easily, and then they go into places like Substance Painter if you want to go and do some textures for your models. And also can be imported into compositing software like Nuke or Fusion or things like that. Super versatile file format that's very useful. I'm going to press save because saving should be a habit.
Oh, you don't want to lose that. That's a lot of work there.
So currently we have 3 vehicles in here. We have, oh come on, there it is, generic SUV type thing. This Veyron, which looks a little small actually now that I look at it.
That is, yeah.
They?
They're pretty big cars, I think. Yeah. Okay, maybe not that big.
Wide, aren't they? Wide cars. And we have this Mercedes type thing. Varying quality, it has to be said. I think if we
Yeah, that Mercedes doesn't look.
that's quite low poly. That's quite dense. I think this is very dense. Oh no, not really. Middling. So
we can see the difference in render times. It'll be a test.
See the difference. Well, I don't know how much difference it will make in render times because render is about bouncing. We'll get into that later. So what I'm going to do first of all is we're going to bring in another car using FBX, which I can't see now because I'm blind. And so as you can see, I went and I downloaded a bunch of free vehicles of TurboSquid. I'm going to bring in this Elantra. And it's not happy with me, which is great. It's a strong start.
Hey.
Let's try it again.
We could go with a 3-car chase.
It's a super strong start. I was just going to demo the method of bringing stuff into Blender. Let's have this RX-7. The RX-7 is also not showing up. Super strong start. UAC, there it is. Look, there's an FBX file. And there it is. It's this.
Wow.
It's this.
That's beautiful.
What is this, you ask? I don't know.
It looks Russian to me.
It's
Russian van.
It's from the past.
Yeah. Nice. Getting it vintage in the car chase.
So this.
I take it this is the car chasing.
This will be the car chasing. Now, this happens to be one mesh by the look of it. But what I've been doing with the others, because the others are made up of multiple meshes, is parenting them to an empty. So generally what you'll find in animation, and I'm just going to scale this guy up a bit so that it's bigger than the vehicle, is that you have a mesh and then you have a control surface. So in this case, this mesh is going to be parented to this here control surface. I'm gonna be like doing this way overly simplified just to keep things moving.
We have a question as well.
Okay.
We have a question. Captain Magic Fur is asking, what is a render time?
So render time. So when we make the scene, what we do in order to turn it into a bit of graphics, or to turn it into a video or an image sequence, is we render it out, and that's the same if it's within Blender. It's the same if you're in editing software like Premiere, and you'll render out your scene. Basically, rendering is the act of exporting a scene, where the computer is calculating for you all your things. Now, I'm very tempted to accidentally end up doing a very in-depth explanation of what rendering is. So I'm kind of
that's not. Yeah, the same applies for video as well. When you render something, you're basically compiling all the data, and it's outputting it as one single file. Simply put.
In the simplest possible terms. It means slightly different things depending on your application. So in the case of Blender, well, let me literally just press. There's no camera in the scene, so I can't render. Haha. It's a good demonstration. Well, we'll go to rendered view, and we'll add a little light in here. Hello. So in the case of a 3D application like Blender, what rendering means is that the computer is going to calculate all the things that are in your scene and generate an image, be it a video file or an image like a JPEG, based on its understanding of the scene. So what that means in practical terms is that it's going to look at all the sources of light, look at all the objects, like this van. So if you see, if I move the light around, the light on the van changes, and then it's going to lock that in. It's going to say, right, well, this light is doing this thing to this object, and it looks like this. So that when it comes out of the scene, we have an image. So if I was to add a camera in, looking at it like this, then we get an image. In fact, let's just do that. Done with whilst we're here. I'll be jumping around controls a bit so that we can actually get through. Does that come up on Discord? It did not. That's super helpful. Hang on. In the most useful way. Hang on, I'm going to have to make OBS do things here. Bear with. Bear with. Ignore my background if you're seeing that.
Yes, it is a Blender render.
It sure is.
Hackers29 has figured out that they rhyme. Blender does render.
Change windows. There it is. Talking of Blender render, there's the render from Blender. So what you'll see is that it matches. Oh, what I've done there is completely balls that up.
Got a nice render there.
Hang on. That's Blade Runner for anyone who's interested. Not that we can say that. We're back. Here it is.
You created that earlier, did you?
I created that earlier with the help of not being part of that company. There you are. It's, oh, for goodness sake. I've done the exact same thing again. There's us. Organisation, folks.
Oh.
Organisation. There's Blender. There's Blender Big. There's me clicking the right button for once. And there is... So that's the scene within Blender, and then this is the render from Blender. Which you can see in this case is literally just the exact same thing we're looking at, because we're looking at a render. And we are going back to you. There it is.
Should we make a plan of what we're gonna do?
Yes, we should talk about it. So
yeah,
we have ourselves our vehicles. We'll go with this. There were more that I downloaded, but you know,
four's fine.
You can be bothered. Four's enough.
You could yeah, lots of vans in the way maybe.
Yes, you couldn't really have a more random selection of vehicles. Let's be honest.
No.
This van is also the size of a city.
It's massive. Just leave it that size.
It's huge.
I
mean, we could if we wanted to go to the kind of jokey thing, have just a giant van appear in the middle of the sequence.
But they can be chasing under the van. I think that would be quite good. I mean,
that would be interesting, wouldn't it? I mean, because you could potentially have maybe some of the bad guys have like some supersized weapon. It's kind of like Ant-Man kind of thing where they blow up a vehicle mid-sequence. That would be pretty cool.
I mean, that doesn't sound difficult at all.
Not really. I mean, the effect of the gun wouldn't be, but...
Oh, I thought blowing up there was going to be an explosion.
No, blow up like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids blow up.
Okay.
Like that.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
That looks
super.
I mean, let's just be honest. Not scale accurate. That looks slightly small.
No.
There. I don't really care. Let's be honest.
We're not going in photorealistic for this, so it's fine.
Shockingly not.
That's not the point of this.
Shockingly not. So, Ben, why don't you have a chat about our ambitions while I start setting up a road?
Well, our ambitions are... I mean, this is more your ambition than my ambition.
It kind of is.
But, yeah. I mean, Josh, yeah. So we found out Carl wasn't going to be streaming tonight because he's busy. And Josh messaged saying we could go live. And he said we could make a car chase. And that's what I know. But I think well, you carry on doing it, and then I think we should have the van as the chasing car.
Okay.
Just because that would be funny. And then we should have the Bugatti as just a car that's that's been parked and they've just gone into a shop.
They've gone into a shop.
We're going to break all the stereotypes here.
Oh my
because
god.
we're gonna have the Bugatti not doing anything,
Can we just
and
stay on
maybe
the road for the sake of making it
multiple
easier?
of them down the road. Well, on a plane.
On a plane.
Yeah.
Hang on. What have we got? What's that? No. I'm not having that.
And then And then we can have the Mercedes that is being, or maybe we shouldn't say the Mercedes. The generic SUV should be the,
generic SUV thing.
yeah, if it is generic.
I don't know that
be
Mercedes would mind particularly if we're talking about Mercedes. Don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're getting a lot of views on it, so
They certainly are. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to find a nice little road texture, type texture, some asphalt, and
so where are you looking for this?
well, I'm looking through my stock of textures that I happen to have already, but there's nothing in there that's super appropriate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dash across to textures.com. Textures.com. There are textures.
Another
there.
good website.
Another good website there. And it's.
And I take it there's free stuff on there.
Well, there always used to be.
Usually the lower res stuff is free.
Yeah, the lower res stuff. Now we're not looking for like super duper high quality. I will chuck in textures.com into the chat should anyone want to have a look at textures.com. Textures.com. There are textures. And then we shall grab. We want maybe like a highway-ish thing, I guess. Oh, there's like a 4-lane thing.
And then you're going to tile it, are you?
And then, yes. So what I'm going to do is, in the most simple way possible, we're going to create a tiny little section of road, of highway. And then multiply it, pretty much. And that's going to be our road that our vehicles are going to go down. So what we're going to do...
Sounds like a plan.
Yes. Because obviously, I mean, we've got an hour and a half in which to make a thing.
Which isn't long.
Some would say that's ambitious.
Yeah. Yes, there's not much time.
I would tend to agree.
Yeah.
It is rather
But
ambitious.
that we are post-Sanity, and that is what we do.
This is certainly post-Sanity.
Yeah.
Here's a road.
It is.
Ta-da!
Oh, okay. Looking good. I mean, slightly wrong angle.
There is gone onto textures.com. Textures.com. There's textures. And we are just importing this as an image plane. Now the great thing about this is it's already UV unwrapped. UV unwrapping, more complicated than I have time to explain.
Yeah, don't go into that.
Yes. So it already exists as a nice texture, as an image. Oh, is it not actually a plane? Can I convert you?
What is it? What's it come in as?
It's come in as literally as an image, I think, which is interesting.
Ah.
Convert to mesh from any of those other things. Did it work? Are you a thing now? I don't know that it is.
Well, obviously if you tap, because then shouldn't you... Oh, there you go. That's...
No, that's some other thing.
No? Okay.
That is some other thing. Okay. Bear with. Right, so what we're going to do instead, going to add a plane. Plane. Grab you on the y-axis to shift you over there. Grab you on the z-axis to put you up here. And we will, in fact, tab in to the edit mode. Grab you on X.
So tab goes into the edit in Blender,
Yes,
that's correct, isn't it?
So the way that 3D models work is they're made of a combination of vertexes, which is these points here, either end that you see. So in the case of a road like this, well, I mean, it's dead simple. You just need a rectangle. So a rectangle is made of 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes a rectangle. Shock horror. So, for the sake of the speeds, we are going to unwrap it. We are going to add a new material. This material is going to be called a road.
If anyone has any questions
I'm gonna have to
I
walk
have.
you through this super quick.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm terribly sorry, everyone, but there you go. Going to add an image texture. That
Yeah.
texture is in fact going to be not that. Would have been useful. It's going to be that. You can't see that. Don't worry about it. Material preview. The computer's being slow.
It's handling a lot of things, I think.
It is
That's
handling
probably
a lot
why.
of things.
Yeah.
There it is, and it's a bit wonky. There you go. So we're going to come up to shading. And for the sake of me not spending 3 million years on...
And this is the node view, which is
yes,
just
this is
below
the node
that.
view, which is the shading view. I'm not going to do this super neatly. I'm going to do this super quickly. There's always a trade-off. There's always a trade-off with such things. Quality to speed. The faster you do things, the less quality they're going to have. However, it does get things done. So if you have a look at a visual effects shot in a film and you think, that looks a bit dodgy, probably because they didn't have a super bunch of time to get it done. Mapping. There it is. Right. Hello. So we want to shift this. I'm going to say on X. I am wrong.
We have a question from Akers29.
Hello.
I don't know who this is.
Someone.
Ben, do you use Blender as well, or are you more likely to use other software? I have used Blender, but quite a while ago, and I'm not very good with it. It was quite difficult when it first came out.
It has to be said,
It's got better though. Yeah.
In the past,
Yeah.
however many years.
Yeah, and I just didn't put the amount of time into it, and then I got into more editing rather than visual effects, whereas Josh has really pursued visual effects.
Yeah.
So Josh put a lot of time into this.
Slightly different paths to that extent. Let's just...
Yeah.
This is what I would call very quick. But essentially, we're making ourselves a nice little road. We can get rid of that now. Go away.
And you've put I can't remember what you call them. You put a sphere, a photosphere in for the reflections.
So nowadays with the new engine in Blender, these spheres these are called HDRIs. What it basically is a 360-degree image of a place. In this case, it looks like a kind of road with looks like a dirt road in a forest or something. I'm not entirely sure. But what it does is it allows there to be natural lighting on a surface, on an object, or something like that, like this guy.
Yeah, it's really useful, isn't it?
Super useful, and you'll find that when big films go on set, there's always someone collecting that kind of information, be it HDRIs, or nowadays there's slightly more advanced methods which you can collect that kind of stuff. But all of which means that when you get to lighting, say, a 3D object which is going to end up in a scene, you can do it in a way which matches the lighting from a physical location. So, you know, if you were to take the Avengers, for example, Thanos interacting with all of the Avengers, you know, the ones who were human, the ones who were real, their photography was done in the day, and then at the same time, there would have been the visual effects supervisor or people from his team going around collecting HDRIs, collecting bits of information. Quite often they do scans now of locations so that you can have a very, very accurate physical representation of those places. And then bringing that into the computer so that the lighting that you see on a 3D computer-generated character like Thanos is the same lighting that existed on the day on set for, you know, Captain America and all all of the others. Although it has to be said, quite a lot of those characters are also CG, even though you wouldn't necessarily expect it. So there you are.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, the Thanos VFX is amazing.
Thanos is
Yes.
really, really incredible. Like a genuinely remarkable bit of work from a bunch of different companies. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab these guys out of the way. Goodbye. I went the wrong way. Goodbye. There. So we have here our surface of the road. Probably not a super great texture right now, but you know, there you go. It's a road.
It'll do.
It'll do for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in a generic wall. I'm going to leave it untextured for now, just because of time. But depending on how we feel about life, maybe we'll come back and make it a bit less naff. Maybe.
Or maybe not. Just leave
maybe
it.
not. We'll leave it as a. We'll see how
We'll
it
see.
goes. We'll see how it goes. So what I'm doing with this guy is I'm going to add a mirror modifier, which means that it duplicates itself like that. And that way I get to work on two walls at the same time.
Ah,
So
that is useful.
roughly in the middle somewhere. Scale it on the y-axis. And we're going to have ourselves... Well, you can see that obviously our texture is not perfectly aligned, so we're going to have to like chip into the road a little bit here, aren't we? This lane it's a very small lane. That lane. We don't know why.
Yeah, that's for bikes.
That's the bicycle lane. Maybe
The bike
if
lane,
we're feeling
yeah.
really jazzy, we'll come back in with a bicycle later on.
A bicycle chase. That's what we should be doing.
Bicycle chase. That feels like the kind of thing that
Yeah.
we could film in real life. Unlike this.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's really
true.
the point
But,
of,
you know.
of what we're doing here today, is that we're doing something that we literally could not do in real life. Because, I mean, you know, aside from anything else, no way we're getting a Bugatti.
No, that's, yeah.
No.
Bit unobtainable. I don't think I'd even want one.
Well,
I don't think I have that choice. No.
Yeah, if you had that kind of money, you know, what are you going to spend it on?
I wouldn't get one.
You could spend it on a Bugatti. Or you could spend it on, you know, several other cars. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cleaning up these edges a little bit for the sake of...
You've got a comment, Josh.
Do I?
From Zonetted Cornet 14, who's saying it's David. So I presume you know them.
Hello. Welcome. I'm assuming if I say compass, that would be that David. As opposed to the other David, who was in chat last week. Well, hello to you.
Different David.
Either way, welcome to things
Sanity.
we regret immediately. The other thing that
That could be the name of the stream.
Things we immediately regret. So I'm just going to apply this mirror modifier, which gives us our two blocks on either side. This road, as you can see, super high detail, but never mind. It's all about how we feel about it, and how we feel about it is kind of rubbish. So, last thing I'm going to do is I can see there's a center partition in here. Shall we try and model this like that kind of thing? Why not? Let's do a thing.
What are you doing?
So you see
Let's
how this seems to have a bit of a pattern in it. Do you see the center partition type thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Yeah.
wedged pattern.
Yeah, like the divider.
The divider. My brain has gone. You're not allowed to know what that's called anymore. But there
Okay.
you are.
Well, at least we know that.
Well, that's super useful. We're coming back over here. Do you know what I'm going to do? So what I'm going to do, just for the sake of making my life a little bit easier, is I'm going to delete these bottom vertices, which leaves me with a plane. I could have just added a plane, but there you are. I didn't.
Carry on, Josh. But you've got Zonetted Comet 14 has come back and they said, "I say treading, you say
yes,
water." So yeah,
yes, that was the one I thought it was.
you now know who it is.
I do indeed.
All right,
Welcome.
okay.
Welcome to things that aren't dance, which is going to make no sense.
This is definitely not done.
To
No.
to anyone else. Super fun. Right, anyway. Welcome to Scenes We Regret Doing Immediately. Okay, so
I mean, when it's done, it's going to be great.
when it's done, it's going to be it's going to exist.
It's going to be the best car chase.
It's going to be the best car chase done in 2 hours. I mean, I think that might well be
That'll
true.
probably be true.
That probably will be
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, no one else is stupid enough to do a car chase in 2 hours.
Who would do something like this? This is crazy. Why would
No.
you do that?
Yeah.
You must be nuts. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna scale this down on we're reorientated people. Reorientated in Y? No, we're orientated in X. We're just gonna scale this in. Look, magic. Ta-da. And we'll scale a little bit on the Y-axis just to give you a lip there. So all we're doing is we're just recreating this shape very, very simply, in literally the most simple way possible. What we're going to do is grab all of that, we're going to extrude it onto it, and that's going to create a box.
Which is the E key?
So it is the E key.
Sorry.
It is. I mean, I would say for anyone who wants to go and learn Blender, obviously I am super rushing because this is crazy. I would highly recommend Andrew Price on the YouTubes, who's basically where I started learning Blender from many moons ago.
Yeah, I learned from him as well. Yeah, he's really good.
He did a series recently, the donut tutorial series. So if you want to learn Blender by making a donut, it's a good place to start.
Tasty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if you want a tasty treat without having to cheat, donut and Blender. There you go. That sounds like a slogan. We're going to move on. Right, the other thing I can see is there seems to be a bit of a kind of triangular lip through the middle of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all of these faces along here, minus you, and we're going to do that. And we're going to get rid of all of you folks here.
And what are they? You added faces there by...
So I did what's called
I can't remember what you
call
call that. That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Which basically, so all of these faces, if you kind of imagine it like you would back in primary school, / whatever the American equivalent is, I don't know. How you unbox a 3D shape into like faces. You can see that this shape is essentially just a series of small shapes. So you've got a square into a kind of triangle-ish thing, into another square, etc, etc, etc. And all I've done is divided up the squares by adding in a cut down the middle, and it's cut it. Actually, we could do that better cut. I'm gonna no, I can't be bothered. I say that I could do it better, but then at the same time I realise
Is it
I
needed?
can't be bothered. But what it does do is it means that we can kind of add a shape down the middle, and then that gives us some 3D
Looks
shape.
like... Does look like you've made a greenhouse there.
It does, but it's kind of based on that barrier, so never mind. So what we're going to do is we'll pop it down the end. It's going to be slightly out of line, but you know, such is life. Go down there. And we'll line it up roughly. It's interesting, it's out of whack with the image. I think the image is slightly rotated, which is probably why it's slightly
I'll be fine for this.
But then, yeah, I mean, you know, for our purposes today, largely who cares? And we're just going to set it into the road a little bit, like that. And we're going to add in what is called an array modifier. It's not going to do that way, it's going to be that way, but not that way, negative that way. And then we can just go, and we make a bunch of them. And
Very efficient.
That kind of lines up. So what I will do, just for the sake of efficiency, we'll scale it on the y-axis, and then I can kind of roughly line it up on that side. Obviously that's a bit of a super cheat, but never mind. So there we go. We now have a center partition, we have 2 walls, and we have a road for our cars to be chased down. So I'm going to apply that. So now we have these separate objects. We're going to grab them all and join them all together so they become one big object, which has immediately turned everything into a giant road.
Ooh.
Which is fun. Maybe we'll get into sorting that out later. Maybe not.
Oh, it looks good like that.
It's different.
It's a look.
It's certainly different.
Yeah.
But for our purposes, we'll move on and then maybe we'll come back and clean it up. Because using that same array modifier, what I can now do, not going in that direction, but going in negative that direction, is make a big old road.
Oh, that's cool.
There it goes.
Nice.
Now, for the sake of getting on with it, we'll keep it as a very straight road, but in future episodes of Can We Be Bothered to Make Future Episodes, we could always make it curve off and do things and kind of jump up the interest. But anyway,
Akers is pointing out you've made roadception.
I have made roadception. And look.
It is roadception.
Look, we can make it... Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. We can make it bend back on itself. It's cheap tricks.
That would be crazy.
What we've done.
Free. Yeah, not even cheap.
Free. It's that cheap.
Yeah. It's that cheap, it's free.
I think that describes everything about this quite perfectly. It's that cheap. It's free.
A bit like our streams.
Certainly. Right. So now, just looking at the size of the cars and looking at the size of the road, I can tell that this is not equivalent to this. So we're going to scale it up just a little bit. That look about right? That looks about right.
I'll do.
In the grand scheme of things, it'll do. So now we have. So okay, let's talk about choices. We have Mercedes / non-Mercedes, Mercedes / non-Mercedes, Bugatti, and whatever that is.
If anyone in the chat has a car that they want something to do, let us know.
Yes, indeed.
And we will try to accommodate it. But yes, I think the van should be the one that is the one chasing, because that you wouldn't see in a film. So let's do things you wouldn't see. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's got a really good engine in it.
I mean,
it's deceptive. It's the sleeper van.
Vin Diesel's been around and he's put some nitrous in. We could even attach like a big old rocket engine or something.
Do you know what's not accurate about your road?
What's that?
There's no potholes in it.
There's no potholes.
There's no potholes. Yeah, because Captain Magic Her says, "You're making better roads than England."
Well,
maybe you could
get
the road tax down.
Should we just add a maybe some way through the sequence we could add a massive pothole, and maybe that causes a drama.
Great idea.
So now that we have our basic setup, I mean that is kind of the conversation that we need to have. It's like what is our chase sequence going to be? So we have our main bad guy, which is going to be this van thing. Who's the good guy? You want the van thing chasing a Veyron?
Chasing. No. The Veyron is just there, just pootling along.
Okay.
You know, at 70 miles an hour. You know, it wouldn't break the speed limit in a Veyron.
No.
And I think there's multiple of them, because there's lots of Veyrons in this reality.
Lots. So there's
Yeah.
It's just a road of Veyrons.
A road of Veyrons.
It's a Veyron road.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this reality, the Veyron is one of the cheaper cars.
So that's the cheap. So we live in the post-COVID reality where Veyrons have been mass produced, and this van.
Yeah, they're actually giving them away.
They're giving them away, and this van suddenly.
Yeah, for some reason.
Really, really expensive. It's vintage.
Well, it's the only one that's been painted as well.
It's the only one that's been painted.
I mean, I think that's a bit of a giveaway.
We could get into that, but maybe we'll do that later.
It's a nice, it'll blend in.
It'll blend.
Actually, it won't blend in.
It'll blend into the trashy road, won't it? Okay, so we have our generic populace who will multiply a bunch of times. We have our bad guy, who now is the hero out of.
I think we should have the generic SUV.
Generic SUV is
who is the one chasing? Is the hero?
Cool.
Yeah.
So
okay, we need something for the Mercedes.
Well,
what is the Mercedes going to
That can also be just in general population, along with the
Yes, unless, or maybe he could get involved. Maybe he.
Oh, is he
decides to become a hero?
Oh, okay. So he's like a bystander.
Yeah, he's just driving along. He's a bystander who's driving along, and he gets really riled up by this fan
Okay.
and starts to chase as well. Because
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, the Mercedes is probably faster than generic SUV.
I would guess so.
Mm.
I would guess. I would say most of these two vehicles are definitely faster than the two vehicles in the chase. I'd be pretty sure of that. It's kind of
So what
backwards.
you're saying is the Bugatti is faster than a van.
I think I am. I think I am.
Okay.
This is kind
Okay.
of
I
like
mean, that's
you know
a
how you have
bold,
like
bold
James
choice.
Bond and you have the Fast and Furious and all of those like very car chasey things where they are driving through all this really generic traffic with really expensive cars. This is the opposite of that.
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
anti-Bond.
This is post Sanity world here.
This is the calm and the leisurely.
The calm and the leisurely. Oh, I think we have to make that film now.
This is the calm and the leisurely.
I like that. I might make
Okay,
a note of that.
We've made.
Although we have had a comment, so Akers29 is saying Mercedes cars is usually the bad guys in real life.
Well, I mean that's kind of why I downloaded it originally because I thought that would be the bad guy. But
Yeah.
we seem to have taken a different path here.
Well, we don't want to be too generic around here.
We certainly don't, and we're certainly not being so.
No, we're not. No,
we're definitely not.
Let's mix it up.
We're definitely doing that. Have you lost your wheels? You haven't. Okay. So we're on the road. We've made progress. So we want some generic populous traffic, don't we? So how do you think we should start our scene? What kind of shot do you think we should have to start our scene?
Do you think what we could start with? We could start with a nice. Oh, that might be a bit difficult.
No
I was going to say a nice drone. I was going to say a nice drone shot.
Nice kind of sweeping in shot.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No, we can do that for suresies.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to look a bit weird because obviously the top of the road is that. Maybe we'll do this properly at some point.
Yeah.
So what we want is a nice kind of like sweeping thing. So we want a kind of, I guess, come in along here maybe, like this kind of path. Do we want to do like okay. Do we want to do like a following shot, or do we want to do something that comes like right up to like behind the vehicles down the road?
You could do like a pointing down shot. So it's like
you want like
bird's
eye
view,
a top down, like that kind of.
Yeah, top down, and then they go like chase through the scene.
Okay, so you want essentially GTA, but from the 90s.
Yeah, old GTA. Yeah.
Okay.
We could do the whole thing like that. That'd be simpler, wouldn't it?
It would be. I don't think it would be very good filmmaking practice, but there you are.
No, it wouldn't. But
Okay, so
I think it should be. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be maybe moving slightly. Down the road.
Okay, so we'll work on the camera first. Hello. So you want to start with that kind of framing, say.
Yeah.
So okay, let's talk about it from a filmmaking point of view, because right now we're gonna have our main cam. Actually, we'll call this shot one, because we might have more cameras in the scene as we go along. So this is gonna be shot one, and it's gonna be a top-down aerial shot, which we're presuming would be from a drone. Now, notoriously, drones, they tend to have quite wider angle lenses. This has currently got a 50mm.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to just go, whoop.
Zoom that out.
Like a 16, shall we say, something like that? Somewhere like that, and then we
that looks good. Yeah, sounds good.
Down we come. Oh, grabbing it on. Oh my goodness. Ah.
Through the road.
Through the road. There we go. We'll just have to ignore the fact that the sides are empty.
Massive.
Massive and empty.
Yeah.
We'll do something about that, maybe. Maybe not. Actually, let's do something about that, because that does annoy me. It has to be so. Because seeing as we're going for the top amount of quality, let's just literally just drag out the side bit. Because why not? We can go through and maybe texture these sides a bit differently at some point, but for the sake of like getting into shots and choices and things, we'll skip that for the time being, and we'll come back to it. We'll see how far we get.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So now it's filled in, and now we've got for some reason, a giant
Nice.
road on top of a road. But we're talking more about shot choices. So we want this camera to like fly along on top of the chase, do we? Do we want it to move
Yeah.
down?
Even if it's not the establishing shot, I think it'd be a nice shot to have.
So tell us, tell us about establishing shots, Ben, whilst we're here.
I mean, for a car chat, I mean, you want to be wider. You want to give you want to. So I suppose it doesn't have to be a wide shot, but you want to establish what's going on. So if we're going I don't know what establishing shot I would go with for this.
So for the
I mean,
sake for the sake of talking about it from a filmmaking point of view, the reason that you want I need to go to animation. Ooh, animation. And now we don't get to look at the crappy textures anymore. Good for me. The purpose of an establishing shot is basically to set out where stuff is in relation to each other. Particularly important for action, of course, because we can get very cutty and very like lots of things are happening and it's all a bit frenetic, and sometimes you want things to be a bit unclear to just up the energy. But in order to tell the story, and it's really important, I think, in action scenes that you are telling a story, and it's not just crazy frenetic nonsense. You need to every now and again go back to something that shows where everyone is in comparison to each other.
Yeah, so people know where things are.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if we have this as our establishing shot, how long do you reckon we want this shot to be? Maybe like a 5-second shot, shall we say?
Yeah, if that.
I would get.
Yeah, say 5 seconds for now. Yeah, you would get. Yes.
I would get. So
yeah, maybe tracking forward slightly.
Yeah, we're gonna grab this guy along the road. We're just gonna imagine that this is a drone or something like that, which is flying on. So you can see now, basically what I'm doing is I'm just keyframing in its position along the road. We can put that down as our camera view, so we can see it's gonna blaze along the old road there. Now the other thing that I need to do, because because I know it's going to be an issue, is sort out.
Akis is saying, can we do inside the car shots?
I mean,
and I think we probably can.
We can.
Yeah.
There's no one in the cars.
We'll give it a go.
There's no one in the cars to look at, but we can do that.
We could do more like point of view.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we could. I
yeah.
mean, maybe let's chuck in a little character or something into the car. Maybe let's not have the one in the bad guy car, because it's nice to have it kind of ominous and stuff. But maybe in our hero
no
car.
glass.
In our hero car. Well, I mean, if we just set this as a material to transparent, that'll do. No, it's literally see-through. So what we can do is, if we add in another camera, what do we want? Do we want literally inside, or do we want like a hood-mounted type camera affair?
Well, let's go hood-mounted. Let's try and keep them realistic.
Yeah, this is the one element of this that's going to be
that's realistic, is the cameras.
Vaguely realistic is how we shoot it. Everything else is going to
be everything else is not
kind of nonsense, and by kind of I mean total nonsense. So there you are. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to add in another camera, which is just here, and we'll rotate it on our Z-axis, and we'll call this Hero Car Cam. There you go. So we know what it is, and we're going to make this like should we say a 25, something like that. And then, so I need to make that. Do you know what? I've not named it in here. Have a Hero Car Cam. There it is. Hero Car Cam. There it is. So this is now our active camera, which you can see is popped up over here. So if we grab it and have a little rotation.
So you're going to be able to link that to the car then?
Yes, indeed we are. Now you can see it's kind of super wide. Oh, Blender's gone a bit like, no thank you. Now, see what I've done here is I've put it on the American side of the road, which is, so I put it on the passenger side. which not really acceptable, is it?
Depends where we are. Where is this?
Well, I mean,
This looks like an American highway, though, doesn't it?
they're on the left side of the road, so
That's true.
um,
Yes.
we are not in America. And I'll just shuffle this guy across, and then we can point it slightly.
Unless they are in America and they're breaking a lot of laws.
Well, I mean, this is
but I mean,
the
they're
thing,
going to be breaking laws anyway.
they could cross the road. So what I'm going to do here,
Yeah.
I'm going to parent this to the same thing, keep transform, and now you will see that when I select this and move it, if you look, I pointed at the screen there. How clever! If you look at this image, you'll see that the camera is now just parented and it's doing crazy things. Ta-da! So
that's very useful.
Super useful.
Yeah.
And that's why you have a separate parent to all of these separate things, because it means that they are consistently where you want them to be. Anyway, so that's our hero car cam. So that hero car cam is going to be doing stuff all the way along. We need a hero. I need a hero to something to the end of the night. Whatever. The hero is going to be this monkey, because it's available. There you go. It's Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. The even more unrealistic thing is he doesn't have any arms.
He doesn't have she doesn't have any body.
It's a she. Okay. Yeah.
She needs somebody
just a head
to drive. We will parent her again to the same thing. Keep the transform so that it's now stuck to it. And then she can go and live.
And this monkey head is just a built-in thing in Blender.
Yes, this is Suzanne, the Blender monkey.
Yes.
Always fun to include Suzanne in a scene. Just cause. So hang on, let me do a render of that, just to check that the transparency is working for when we make our full movie.
I can't wait for the full movie. That's going to be.
Well,
it's going to be something.
What? Okay, so let's talk about the chase sequence while this is rendering. Then, so we have our establishing shot. We can't see anything in there. Well, I'll sort that out later.
Don't worry. It doesn't. They might have blackout windows on the front, even. You know.
They may well do. Do you know what I'll do? I'll do that.
Delete it. Yeah.
There you go. As you can see, we're doing things in the highest of quality here.
Mm-hmm.
But there you are. Right, so anyway. So we have our hero cam looking at Suzanne the driver. You can see all the way through to the wheels.
No seats.
No seats at all. None at all.
That's good. Nice.
But she is a floating head, so you could argue that she doesn't need a seat because she obviously has some kind of psychic powers.
She doesn't need seats. She has a special car.
Perhaps of more pressing concern is the fact that there's no engine or anything in there. So, she's a psychic floating monkey head who's doing something. I'm going to switch that to 25 because that's what we should be on. Any bot.
So, before we pick the shots, shall we pick what action's happening? Because then it might be easier to pick the shots. Yeah.
So... Right, so we know that we know that we're establishing. So the kind of generic thing to do when establishing is just have some weaving. So probably we want a kind of weaving in and out of traffic. And probably we want a kind of catch-up sort of thing, where we start on the bad guy car, and then we see it weaving through the traffic of many Veyrons to start, and then camera catches up to the good guy car first. I would say something like that.
Sounds good.
And we'll call this drone cam. And then I guess what do we want to happen? Do we just want to have some like Razzie action, like just going between cars? We could have some like.
I think going in between cars, and then I think. Can you duplicate the Veyrons so we have multiple?
I've already got a few duplicates going.
Okay.
We're gonna have
can we have
many Veyrons?
Can we have some Veyrons on the other side going the other way on the motorway? Because I think the chase needs to go against the traffic as well at one point.
Okay, so we're gonna have them smash through the barriers at some point.
Or maybe just jump over.
or just jump
I
over
mean,
the barriers.
yeah.
Quite a
I
low
mean, they're
barrier.
concrete. I think they're probably pretty
Should we make it
tough.
a super low barrier? Just for the sake
Oh
of
yeah, that's true.
of our sake.
Yeah. Make it a ramp.
Make it a ramp.
Yeah.
It's no longer an array, which is kind of annoying. So
Hackers29 is saying there's no need for an engine. Suzanne is running along the road like the Flintstones without any
Yes.
legs.
I mean, that's where
You didn't say without any.
that's where the legs are. It's where the rest of the body is. It's powering the powering the car for some unknown reason. It is the Flintstones, but with the monkey.
Yep.
It's
What? Okay. Can we wait?
Flintstones.
I think we need to establish something here.
Okay.
What has Suzanne done wrong? Why is she being chased?
Well, I mean, clearly, clearly, this is an animal catcher van, and she's escaped from.
Okay.
The zoo.
From started driving a car.
The zoo reopened, and Suzanne was like, "I don't want to get coronavirus. Bye bye."
Mm.
And has escaped in the zoo SUV. Maybe it's a
generic
safari,
SUV.
the zoo generic SUV.
That explains why it's got less seats.
Yes, because it's
Hmm.
for a zoo. Don't know. That makes sense.
Yeah, Hackers is saying that the monkey has stolen bananas.
Ah, okay. So Suzanne the monkey has stolen bananas from. So this is a market trader. A market trader who's been robbed by a bodiless monkey. It's a weird film.
Yeah. Can we have
it's a farmer. Okay, it's a farmer, a banana farmer, who's been robbed by.
Is that the name of the film?
Banana farmer.
Oh yeah. Okay, Captain Magicverse says this guy. I don't know. This car reminds me of the Family Guy scene where Peter buys the car with a cardboard steering wheel and drawing of an engine. Yes, that is.
I think that's pretty accurate. Let's be honest.
Yeah, probably worse.
Definitely worse. Right. Anyway.
Suzanne had some seriously underestimated powers.
Oh
yeah. You're correct. She does.
Well, I don't know. She's
now,
not got a body, so I'd say that any living monkey with no body is probably not underestimated too much. She's got some superpowers. Does Suzanne? Goodness knows.
Now, Josh? Can we get a model of a banana?
Oh, we can make a model of a banana. Do we want?
Should we simplify it and make it an orange? I know that's not typical, but we're not going typical here.
Well, yes. Okay, sure. It's. We can do that in like 2 seconds. Ta-da!
There we go. There we go.
And we're going to add a new material. We're going to call it orange. And it's going to be orange. And for the sake of showing that
as an orange,
we will do that. There you go. Super duper. It's a giant orange.
That's a very brown orange.
Maybe it's a genetically modified orange.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Why it's so valuable.
I think we need quite a few of those as well. I think she stole at least 10.
At least 10. Well, why don't we make an array of oranges? That looks like something else. We've got to stop that. It's a bunch of oranges. Let's just do
a nice bunch of oranges.
Let's just duplicate a few of these around. A bunch of they've formed the magic orange formula, and now are.
So hold on a second, I'm confused here.
Yes.
Is she from a zoo, or is she just? Do you think
maybe she's from a zoo? Maybe she's an alien. We don't really know.
We don't know. But she's found a an orange farmer, because they're not bananas now, and she's stolen the oranges.
Yeah, she sure has.
Now we have a request here.
Okay.
Can we have some of the oranges fall out the back of the car during the chase? No, I think that has to happen.
No,
Thank you, Captain.
I mean,
I think the boot needs
we
to
could,
come open.
we could try.
If
All right, if
not,
we're
I
gonna
can
do
simplify
that,
it for
if we're gonna do that, we have to rig it to do that, which we can do.
you. We could smash the
We can do
window
it
somehow.
too with can do. So the way that we would do that is I would have to create another empty. I'm going to do this in the simplest way possible, but it proves a point. I mean, it does give us a slightly more advanced look at how these things work, with completely not meaning to do that, but in terms of how animation works. Hello, here is an empty. So the way that these things work is you have hierarchies basically. So this guy controls the overall car. So this guy will control the boot of the car, which means that it is going to be a child of this guy, which means that we have to parent it to that. And what parenting means is basically linking within a structure. You can actually see this in the list over here.
We're just so you know, Josh. We haven't even finished this film yet, and nobody's seen it.
I know.
But we've been requested to make a sequel.
Well,
it's been approved by Netflix.
It's been approved by Netflix, as have all things.
Greenlit.
As have all things.
Yeah, it's been greenlit.
So now what we need to do is make sure that everything that forms the boot, which is all of these separate objects, that's the chassis of the car, so we don't want that. What I've done is select a bunch of crap that I don't need. Is that actually... That looks like that's actually just part of the main mesh, does it? Okay, well
you could just have this top bit flip up.
Yeah, I think for the sake of simplicity, we'll just have this top bit flip up.
I mean, this is a generic USB.
It sure
USB.
is. It doesn't make any physical sense at all.
No.
But
actually, my SUV actually did used to do that, so it's not that.
There you go. So now we have that, which can flip up on its own, and it's still attached. That's hierarchy, and that's rigging. It's a very, very quick, crap version of rigging. Maybe we'll get an actual rig out later on, and you can see what that looks like in reality. I've also missed something there. What's that? That looks like...
No pressure, but Captain Magic has pre-ordered the first and second film, it looks like.
Well, the box set.
No pressure. The box set of two.
The box set of two. Right, okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Right, let's start making the film, shall
we? Okay, so, Suzanne.
We lose Kyle. Somehow we've lost Kyle from this stream, and it's got more crazy. We don't know why.
Yeah, I didn't think that was possible.
No.
There we go.
We love you, Kyle. We'll see you next time.
So.
To calm us down. Anyway. So
I thought it'd be the other way around. So, she's down the motorway.
Yes.
With her oranges.
So let's make her speed down the motorway. Let's do that. We'll just, for the time being, she can drive she can have some straight traffic, and then maybe we'll add in some obstacles later. But for the time being, I'm going to insert a nice little keyframe here, location rotation. We know that the first shot is 5 seconds long, so 25 seconds a frame. 25 frames a second. Over 5 seconds is 125 frames. I'm going to grab you on the Y and just go whoop up there somewhere. In order to make this make sense, I'm going to come into our camera view, and then we will see. Oh, we're nowhere near.
I think I know what the establishing shot should be here.
There it is. Yes. What do you think the establishing?
I think we should establish the oranges.
Okay.
I think it should be a shot of all the oranges jiggling around in the boot of the car.
Jiggling around? You want jiggling now? He wants jiggling.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well.
That's what oranges do.
So we're gonna have to add in. We can do that. This is we can do that. We will not be defeated. We will never surrender.
Okay.
We are going to add. I'll do it off of this guy. It's going to be a janky as hell, but what about this isn't? We'll add in another empty, And I'm going to name this one Wiggle, Wiggle, Wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Jason Derulo. And then the same thing again, it's hierarchies. This one has nothing to do with the boot at the moment. It has to do with this guy. So we parent. My goodness. Excuse me. Thank you. U to U. The transform, and then we parent the oranges to not the boot. Come on, oranges. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
Axe is pointing out that he is enjoying watching me add new complicated things and watch over how quickly to do it.
Hey, look, I made it wiggle. It's fine.
This is what it's turned out, which I'm quite happy with.
I don't know what on earth.
Well, oh, okay.
But we can do that. So the way to do this is we're just going to set...
Okay, you've literally taken jiggle very literally there.
What were you hoping for? Like, what were you looking for? If
I'm being honest, I wanted proper simulations.
Oh, we don't do simulations here. We do... well, we might have to for making oranges fall out, but I don't think we're going to get to that in the next 45 minutes, let's be honest.
It's okay.
Right, rotation.
Floating oranges.
So, okay, so the way that this works, to make things automated, because right now what they're doing is rocking to the side once, is we take the graph editor. So the graph editor basically shows us these rotations. There they are. We'll turn them all into linear so that instead of having any curves on them, it's straight point to point. And then on top of that, we add in a noise. Has that changed location now? Discord thing is in my way there. I think it's changed its location now, which is fun. We add in a noise modifier is what we need to do, but where that now lives.
Oh, so you're adding noise to the keyframe.
Yes, exactly. So basically what it'll do is it'll make that into a squiggly line as opposed to a...
That's very cool.
I think.
I didn't know you could do that.
Within the effects, there's preset animations like the bounce and the elastic. So we could actually go through and do all of these things. Because essentially all animation is points in space, you know, and then you link them together. That's all that animation is. So any animation you see from any source, be they the Marvels or be they like a Pixar, like a Toy Story, that kind of thing, all it is linking points in space together with various methods. It's not, you know, at its core function, it's not complicated, but actually when you start to get into it, the skill to make something make sense is crazy. Whoa! So there is
that's
there is some noise. That's a lot of noise. Let's turn that down. Please turn down. We want like
it's a light jiggle,
0.001 or something, don't we? Or even less than that. Strength.
Oh,
there we go.
That
Strength.
is a lot of.
So we probably want that to be like a 0.001. We want just a tiny little bit of jitter in there. Probably slightly bigger than that because that's changing like a tiny amount. But we maybe want 0.05. That seems to be jittering.
See what it looks like.
Go on, and then we'll do the same on the Y. We're gonna add a modifier. We're gonna add a noise modifier. We're gonna bring that down to 0.05. And on the Z modifier, noise, strength 0.05. We will come back. We will get rid of where can you live that's not annoyingly in the way. 3D viewpoint. We will come to our camera. We will change our camera. Here, a car cam. There it is. And then as you go along, you can see it wiggling away. There.
Oh yeah, they're moving. Nice.
So that's a bit of automated. Look, it's actually like an actual like thing that we did on this stream, as opposed to any of the rest of
Nothing.
it. It's an actual thing. So it's one of those things where you know, you could go through and animate that by hand. Pain in the ass. Either you want to do it with a modifier like that, which just gives it a bit of noise. Good enough for our purposes today. He wanted jiggle, he got some. If you were doing it realistically, you'd do it with a simulation. What simulations are is essentially, well, exactly what it says. It's a simulation. It simulates the real world physics of, you know, objects in a scene. So if we were to, well, first of all we'd have to add, you know, some seats maybe and some floor, because otherwise they'd just fall through the world if you put gravity in. But if you can imagine that we had those things in which the oranges would collide with, a simulation would go in and see, oh, how do these objects exist in the world, what forces are acting on them, and then how do they react to those forces, so that you would then get, say we had the car bumping along the road, the oranges would be bumping around in place. And that's what you see in all of these big high-end films and stuff like that, when you look at, you know, things like people's clothes or buildings being destroyed, or, you know, even like the water and the ocean and stuff. It's simulations of real world physics that make stuff look real, because they're really incredibly highly detailed and well made, and that helps to blend things together. Or in our case, you just, you know, add a noise.
Just jiggle them.
You just jiggle them. You just jiggle it.
Yeah.
You know.
Jiggle your oranges.
So we know that we want our first shot to be Suzanne and her jiggling oranges.
I don't think even Suzanne should be in it. I think we need to establish. Oh, hold on. I've got it.
Okay.
Starts off on jiggling oranges, pulls back, reveals Suzanne. Okay, I said realistic shots. We're going to scrap that.
Okay.
It pulls back through the windscreen and then reveals behind the van chasing.
Okay, so
basically, essentially,
it
pulls back.
We want to go from like in there. We're going to have to shuffle ourselves on the x-axis a little bit.
Yep.
And then we're going to probably grab you. Shall we say? So jiggling oranges. Shuffling a little keyframe for location rotation. We want to come. So by the end of our sequence of shots, up here, we want to be outside. Probably quite a way ahead, don't we? So that we can see the van chasing behind. So we probably want to be.
I don't know. Maybe not that far, and maybe like go up a bit as well.
Well, see, because the thing is, what we could do is have it as a reveal. So as we come like kind of midway through the shot, the car with Suzanne in swerves to the side, and we reveal behind it.
Reveals the van.
Yeah. So because
that would be nice.
You can see that from this angle, you know, the hero car is taking up much of the screen, but if we have it swerve out the way, then we can have our bad guy revealed, and also the generic population of Bugatti Veyrons.
Of course.
I
mean, it happens in this world.
So at the moment, our shot does this. So probably we want to get to around here, don't we? Which is about 3 seconds in, and then we have this hero car swerve out of the way. So what I'm going to do? Maybe it comes up behind a Bugatti and has to overtake or undertake the Bugatti. Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Okay, we'll do that.
And maybe we can scrape the side of the Bugatti.
So what I'm going to do here...
Obviously, we can do that with sound.
First of all, very importantly, I'm going to save, because you should always save. I feel like we're going to get one shot out of the stream, so maybe we'll pick this up in another stream.
Yeah, but do you know what? I'm feeling very positive about this shot. I like this shot.
It's going to be a cool shot, I think.
It's a very cool shot, yeah, definitely.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to press this button here, and what this allows me to do is just, instead of me having to insert keyframes and tell it to do stuff, anytime I do an action, it's going to record it down, so that it just saves me time basically. So what I can do here is I can just grab that and let go, and it's recorded into keyframes so that by the time we come to here, I can have the car swerve out the way. Now we want it to end up kind of brilliantly, I've selected the wrong one there. I've jiggled my oranges a bit too much. So
ooh, you don't want to do that.
important
You don't want them ending up being pulp.
No.
You want to keep them intact.
You want to watch that you don't jiggle your oranges too much, because you know, it's not.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Certainly.
No,
is.
definitely not. No, you don't want to make orange juice.
No.
I mean, the monkey, Susanna's gone up to a lot of effort to obtain these oranges.
Now.
What problem do we have?
Now, of course. Now is the stage where I realise that we're going to have a separate cam. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fucking, excuse my language, we're going to nix that. We're going to leave this guy as a generic camera, and we're going to create a new camera at the other end. I'm just going to grab this guy. I'm going to switch off my recordings. Grab you. No, do you know what? We won't do that. We'll duplicate you. Grab you on Y.
Captain Magic Fur loves the shot too, so it's not just us. We're not.
See, you thought this was going to be total nonsense. However,
yeah,
it's only going to be mostly nonsense. Mostly nonsense.
We're saying 40% nonsense.
40%. No, I'm saying like 40%, maybe not.
Okay, all right, you're going opposite to me. Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. It's somewhere between. It's somewhere in that region of like some of it's nonsense and some of it is kind of a good idea. I'm not.
I mean, the first shot's all great ideas.
It's all ideas. Right. I'm not sure that any of them are great, but you know, there you go. Right. So what we need to do is we need to unparent this guy from.
Akaz is saying less than 100% nonsense.
It's less than 100% nonsense. That is a description, correct?
Yeah.
So we're going to grab this guy on the axis. We're going to move it on the Y a little bit. We want to start there. What I'll do is the exact same thing I was doing before, but obviously we just need to mark this camera specifically. So we'll just do, and we want to end up like there somewhere down. So this camera, essentially all this camera is doing is moving backwards in a straight line for the whole shot, maybe up a bit to like reveal the road.
So this camera now is not parented, is that what you're saying?
Yes, so this camera is a separate thing to our hero car. So it's important, it's one of those things that you have to understand in animation is that, as I say, understanding hierarchies. Because obviously what I tried to do there was make the car move lane, but because the camera is parented to the camera is essentially attached to the car, where the camera was moving with the car's movement, which is not what we need. We need because we've decided to go from like a dashboard mounted camera to a kind of free world camera. We needed something slightly different. So that is the shot that we end up with.
Can we have it lingering on the oranges a bit longer as well?
We can
to start off with.
What we need to do so what we can do is first of all we need to make sure that everything is linear and not Bezier, which it currently is. So the thing that you have, I'm sure you can turn it off somehow, but what happens is by default everything is interpreted with a Bezier curve, which means that it smooths into and out of a shot, so that it, as something comes to a rest, it comes to a rest in a more natural way. It moves slowly into it as opposed to like smacking into it.
Can you show a Bezier curve?
So
I
can just undo what I just did.
Don't worry if it's difficult.
Hang on. If I undo what I just did, then that should do it. Alternatively, it'll disappear forever. So you can kind of see... Hello. Right. So you can see here, so you see these handles here, that's what controls the Bezier curve. So you can see this line here is basically curving into and out of its final rest point here. So you can see it kind of, instead of like arriving in a straight line, it bends in so that as you get to the final rest point, it slows down into it, as opposed to, it comes to a gradual stop as opposed to just stopping. Whereas what we want, because we're in what is essentially would be a cut, is for it not to stop, it just keeps on going. So you can imagine that the shot would be continuing afterwards, until the final thing comes to a rest.
That makes sense.
We can also see that the car seems also to be on a different thing, so we're going to have to grab ourselves. Where's the car gone? There's the car. Everything is easier to color. Now, we also have this little set of transformations just here, which we're going to get rid of. Same thing with the car. We don't want the car to be easing into and out of the stop because it's not stopping. We imagine that it was going really fast before the scene started, and it'll be going really fast after the shot finishes. So we want it as a linear thing, so that it's always moving at the same speed, unless we tell it to do otherwise, as we're going to do when we have it swerve out the way in the middle of the shot. So now we should end up with a situation where it's a bit more of a natural kind of progression, and you can see that we're kind of moving along a bit, and we actually end up with
It looks good.
that kind of framing. So, as before, we want to get up to around about the 75 frame mark, which is 3 seconds in. Simple maths. 25 times 3. We've got our auto keying on. Grab that, get rid of it. That gives us our keyframes. We'll live in this view. We want it then to swerve out the way. So normally you'd lead with the wheels. So for example of parenting again, if we were to go into more detail, and maybe we will at another point, you'd have the wheels would lead first because that's what steers the car, and then the body of the car follows it, and then it moves. So really it needs to turn and start drifting across the road. So we want it to be like there, and then at the same time we want it to be drifting across like there. So we end up with that. But what we do want is it to be, by the time we come to the end of the shot, on the other lane, or at least, you know, kind of partially somewhere on that lane, so that it's like way out the way.
Nice.
And then
Suzanne, she's a good driver.
Rowdy driver.
Oh, rowdy.
Rowdy,
but,
not
you know,
Audi.
good driver though.
Rowdy,
No.
not Audi. We'll have no. Actually, I can't do that, can I? It has to be not Y. So I'm just going to move it slightly earlier. So a lot of animation is just about finding the right place to do things. So what I've done there is just change the point where it changes its position side to side along the X line, just to help it smooth a bit. So it's a bit smoother and changing up. So its movement is a bit more natural.
Can we have, to give her reason, because we've just heard a point that Akka says that it's reckless that Suzanne is undertaking a car.
Yeah.
Which is very true. You shouldn't undertake. But for this, she is, because she's a monkey in need. And so, can we, when we pull back and go over the top, can we start going over the top of a Bugatti?
Yes, we can. So what that will require
That
is
gives
for
her a
us
reason for undertaking.
for us to bring in our Bugatti. So our Bugatti, it's going to be up the road, up here somewhere. We can see it in this view. Just going back into our camera. Grab you on the wire. This is where this stream is going to start to make sense. Just an hour and a half in. Just the hour and a half.
I mean, still not sense.
Sense is a strong word.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense. But you know,
sense is a very strong word. it's going to start to like look at a thing. So realistically, we probably want our Bugatti to be, and this is where we'll kind of have to kind of sharpen up our movement a bit more. So this is kind of how animation works: is that we want things, we add and add and add to it, and then we refine as we're going along to kind of make things make more sense. So as you can see here, that's what the Bezier is doing. It's doing weird stuff. You can see it's easing in and out of its positions, which it really, really shouldn't be. And we're going to have to do something all about that in order to make it make sense, which means we come into back to our graph editor. I was going, what am I doing? And then
You forgot because it was so crazy.
Short it. So again, you can see here the Bezier curve. It's going from kind of point to point, easing in and out, which is not what we want. It's the wrong kind of behavior for this shot. We make it linear, so it's just always moving at the exact same speed. And then we come back to our 3D viewpoint. Ta-da! And we should hopefully get to a point where, oh look, there's a car. Quick, get out the way. Oh no, it's crashed.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Oh, you don't want that. But they didn't even crash. That's the sad thing. They just intersected.
They sure did.
So
normally that would be a write-off right there, and that's $1 million write-off right there.
that's an expensive one there,
Sure.
but not in this world, because the
Not in this
Bugatti's
world.
not an expensive car.
No, the Bugatti is worth £3.50.
That's a deal.
Or in this case, free.
Or is it a deal? Because it might just be
pretty
a
questionable.
pile of poo.
It's pretty questionable. So what we want to do here is we want to probably move our car slightly earlier, because we see the Bugatti starts to creep in. So we're going to shuffle this. I'm probably going to as well start this point slightly further back. We're going to keep our Y consistent so that it's so the Y. So in this case, the Y location is basically the length of the road. So all the way down, we want to keep the Y the same. So I'm actually going to come in and lock this, so I don't accidentally tamper with it, because that is the speed relative to the camera in this case. And we like where the car is relative to the camera all the way through. So all we want to change is its position side to side and its rotation, what way it's facing. So we can see that it's still really rather
Crashy.
really rather crashy. It sure is.
Yeah. Oof. That's a close one.
It sure is. She's a reckless driver, is Suzanne. Probably the
She's
other thing
reckless.
that we can do is just whack in some earlier rotation on the old car there, because that will probably help us. No, that's
I mean, I think she.
one,
I mean, she's probably been having a few oranges, so
she has maybe a few.
she probably needs
orange
the
ciders
toilet.
or something. Maybe she does. Maybe that's the,
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
the film. She's rushing to get to the loo.
Yeah. She's
So
desperate, and she doesn't want to go in a generic SUV. She's not that reckless.
So the other thing that we could do here is actually have the Bugatti like swerve. Oh well, now.
Ooh, I've just had an idea as well.
Do we want the Bugatti to crash and go spinning?
Yes, of course. I think it needs to go on the other side, like be flipped over
Yes.
to the other side of the road.
So I think to solve our problem
Yeah.
of this, we will do crazy things.
Yes,
So-
that simplifies things, right?
Maybe. Okay, so she gets out the way there. At the same time, the Bugatti wants to be kind of rotating off that way and then moving off that way. You can see how much they were intersecting there, can't you?
Oh yeah. This poor Bugatti driver.
I know.
I mean, this is not a
"I've got my
nice
dream
predicament
car,"
to be in.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, it's being smashed bang.
And it flipped over. Now, okay, how many times did the car flip in Casino Royale? It was like 25 times.
It was a bunch.
I
I
think
don't
it
think
needs
was
to roll
25.
quite a few times.
Well,
That's
we've
quite,
only
yeah,
got
no,
like
not.
a little bit of shot left. We might have to extend the shot if we're going to do that. But
We could do it as a one-shot thing.
the whole sequence as one shot. Goodness knows what we're going to end up with.
Let's not. Let's just have it start to flip.
Yes, let's not do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that keyframe. So you can see that the point where the car makes contact now is back there. Bang. It's going to be moving forward a bit. So we're separately going to come in and going to animate this guy to do stuff. So we probably want to reach a point where it goes bang into the barrier. It's going to come forward a bit, isn't it? And it's going to start to go that way.
Oh dear.
Should we top and tail it? Should we have it kind of cartwheel up? Because I think this is the thing.
Cartwheel up.
You know, this guy, Suzanne's car, that's going to clear that middle barrier. But this guy with his low clearance, no.
Yeah, he's not in a good situation there.
So
I see what you mean. Flip over. Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll go like, let's just come a bit further along, and we'll go like, there.
Yeah.
So that it's doing that sort of thing.
I want to build in a backstory for this Bugatti right here. I think he's literally just bought this Bugatti.
He's on the way.
I think this is brand new. From the Bugatti shop, yeah.
Yes.
He's just bought it, and he loves it. Even though in this, I know, but he still loves it. You know, £3.50 is not insignificant, and you know, he likes getting from A to B. Where do you think he's off to? I think he's probably going to the fruit shop. I think this is quite a fruit-based world here.
Clearly, Fruitland.
I think
this would kick round a lot more, wouldn't it? It'll be
we have another request.
Bang. Yes. What's the?
Can we have the Bugatti? Can we have it blow up?
I mean, maybe in the next stream. We can. Yes,
next stream.
but...
Okay, there you go, Ackers. Next stream. That's probably a little. Oh, is it a ball of fire? Okay, I said explosion, ball of fire.
We can do that. I mean, that does exist within Blender. I mean, if we do want to continue this, what I might do is clean up the geometry a bit for next time. We'll keep the shots and stuff, but I might make a better road instead of this rubbish. Yeah, there you go. So.
Oh, that's looking good though. Can I play it too? That's looking good. I like that. Can we go from the start to see what it's like with the oranges?
It needs to travel a bit across. Hang on, it needs to come across the road a bit, doesn't it? Because its momentum will be carrying it that way. So it'll probably be ending up there. And then this one needs to be slightly further round there, I'm going to say. Like there-ish.
That's really cool.
Bang!
I'll do the sound effect.
Bang! Who knows what we're making?
That poor guy.
That poor guy. He's just got his brand new Bugatti worth £3.50.
Oh, he's got his Bugatti. Oh.
And all of a sudden, he's...
Yeah. I've had another idea. I've had another idea, Josh.
Oh, no.
Okay. That Bugatti, when it flies over, can it hit another Bugatti?
Oh, it's going to go into another Bugatti. We're going to have to extend this shot.
Yes. Yeah, I know, but I think it'll be worth it.
Oh, do you know what? What we could do then is have it... So, do you know what we could do? Because he's kind of going that way. We could have him skip the barrier and then go face first into another Bugatti, and that flips him up like that. Which would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is £7 of damage here.
£7 of damage.
Not cents.
Plus you know...
Plus road damage.
Loads of builds and stuff. Yeah, I mean, in this one, the pothole is more expensive than anything else. Which, you know, kind of exists in real life anyway. But there you are.
Yeah, Ackers has summed it up. Josh does the visuals. Ben does the sound effects.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a fair
this is an even,
share of work here.
It's
Very
even.
even.
Share of work. So here's
I would almost say I'm doing too much work here.
I would agree. You definitely are.
Yeah, put it.
You sure are. Okay, so here's Bugatti number 2. He's going to have to be slightly further up the road. In Bugatti Land.
Bugatti Land.
Bugatti Land, yes. So that because we want this guy to, we probably want this guy to skip the reservation.
This is quite an opening shot.
It sure is. I mean,
imagine if you saw in a Hollywood film. This would be amazing.
So we're going to flatten him out a bit, because I think a lot of the momentum is going to come from the fact that he smooshes into this other Bugatti here. He goes, ba-doing, and then we want to...
And then the other Bugatti's going to hit.
I think we're going to have to extend this shot a bit, because...
it's going to be worth it. We want to see this glorious Bugatti carnage.
Probably want this to be like there, I guess. And then... bang. That's going kind of more up than anything, so this needs to travel a bit more there, I think. It probably would be spinning out a bit more over there, so it'd be like... doosh. Oh, he's going to smash into the wall as well, isn't he?
I think both Bugattis need to smash into the wall.
Well, maybe this guy can cross the road in the other direction, and the bad guy kind of has to swerve around it.
I like it.
So it's going to be boom.
Nice.
That almost looks like I meant it. How about that? So right now, what we need to do is we need to make sure that this guy's in the right position. So the impact is going to be just there, which means we need to come up the road a bit to there. So as he's spinning off that way, he's going to take it. He's taking it full in the face. Momentum's carrying him forward.
You never want that.
Well, depends on what you like. And I think he's gonna go rolling off across the barrier here.
Now, how long has this guy owned his car?
I think he's just bought his Bugatti from another Bugatti shop at the other end of the road.
Hold on. Is it the same salesman?
Do you think it's
I think they're from the same.
Do you think it's like a Bugatti franchise?
It's a franchise. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Yeah,
Clearly.
they have lots of showrooms in this world.
It is.
Yeah. So they've both just bought their car today. Maybe today was the day that the Bugattis went on sale, and people have gone to pick up their Bugattis. They put their deposit of £1, paid the balance, and they picked them up today.
Maybe.
That's why there's a lot out.
Right, we're gonna have.
It makes sense.
Bam. Right, so we need to. So he's now got a thing. Look at that. There he goes. We're gonna have to.
Bloody hell! This is.
Hey, I bet no one thought this was gonna get this kind of like crazy.
No, God, I was expecting massive crashes to start off with.
We were gonna have a simple drone shot, and then this happened, and who knows?
And then it started on jiggling oranges.
It started with jiggling oranges, and the next thing you know, you're crashing vans into each other.
It's realistic. That's all I can say.
And then we'll have him. He can smash into the wall like there somewhere, and then we'll add in some explosions and things. Boom.
Captain Magic Fur is saying he's written off a new car in real life.
Ooh.
Which isn't good. Sorry to hear that.
That's not.
That is not good.
Oh dear.
Not good. He is saying though, which is a positive. He's saying it wasn't a Bugatti.
Well, I mean, if anyone
but he's feeling
a brand new Bugatti, first of all, that would be something else, wouldn't it? I'm just gonna extend it.
Well, I'm sure someone has.
Someone's. I mean,
and he's
someone somewhere has.
Yeah.
For sure. And
I'm sorry about that, Captain Magic Fur. He's also saying he's loving all of this and keep up with super work. So, Josh, well done.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job.
I've done a job. God knows what it is. I'm gonna extend. I'm extending the shot for now out to 10 seconds, and then
Can I?
we'll
Oh,
work
okay.
out.
Yeah.
There's more to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving us more room to play. But for the time
Mm-hmm.
being, we're gonna grab you up here, and then we've got. So at the very least, we're in a position where we have a shot that lasts. Except for some reason, why is that done?
I don't think the Bugattis are written off though. I think they'll be
Do you think
fine.
they're like super Bugattis?
Definitely. Yeah. I think you flip them over and they'll be fine.
I've done a boo-boo there. What I've done is locked the things that I needed unlocked. I was trying to be smart and safe by locking things that I didn't want to change, and then I wanted to change them. Didn't lock them. Right, so anyway, shall we play back what we've got here? See where we're at. So, come out of there.
Jiggling orange.
Swerves out the way.
Yeah.
Bang! Oh my god.
Wow. God. I mean, that's.
I think that swerve needs to be a bit harder, doesn't it? And probably a bit later.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a lazy swerve for now.
It sure does.
Listing lazily to the left. Unless we just leave it like that. Maybe it was just a lazy turn. Maybe Suzanne's really calm and collected, and just
super calm. Just nicks into the Bugatti.
She's fine. This is an everyday occurrence for her. Akaz is saying minor paintwork damage only to the Bugattis.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair.
You can see it's literally clipping through there. Let's let us do.
And Captain Magic is saying, could anyone have ever thought that all the time in school would lead to a career jiggling oranges and crashing Bugattis? Is this why you've been practicing visual effects, Josh? Is this what it's leading to?
This is where it's all
this
been
shot here.
It's all been here. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This was the one we've all been waiting for.
Now, we have another request.
Oh, okay.
So, going along with Suzanne, who is listing lazily to the left, can she put the indicator on when she undertakes? Because that's how calm and collected this cool monkey is. I don't know how she's going to do it, but... Okay, Akaz, how is she going to put the indicator on with no arms? Or feet? You could do it with your feet, but we shall wait and find out. Or if anyone has any ideas.
We'll wait the moment of truth.
Yeah. Yes.
Also,
it's a good idea, though.
Scale, we don't care
very visual.
We could do. Right, so this also needs to... Oh my god, deadly. It needs to tighten up a bit. Kind of fishtailing a bit there, isn't it? I think this Vero needs to. We need to kind of see it get clipped and then smash into the wall, don't we? We need to be like, maybe
what, the Bugatti?
This guy needs to come across a bit. I think, because I think probably need to have a situation where it's probably slightly further across. There, we see the clip.
I like how the SUV is completely fine with the clip, though.
Yeah, it's like not.
I mean, I think the oranges, they're helping with it.
We just add some drama. We probably want to bump it forward just a touch. All about momentum.
Oh, have you lost the flip?
That's.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. That is not a good day for that Bugatti driver.
It's really
not.
No. I think this also needs to probably happen slightly higher up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to grab you, and we're going to grab you, and we're going to grab you on the Y, and we're going to do that. And we'll get rid of you. we making? Who the hell knows?
I think it's pretty obvious. We're making an amazing establishing shot here.
We sure are. I think this needs to be... It probably does need to stand up, doesn't it? It needs to, like, clip and then it just...
It needs to go... You had it before. It went, like, on its front, didn't it?
It needs to, like, be... It needs to be going, like, there, doesn't it? And then... So it's like, oh, no! And then over here, it's already... It's like... Maybe it's, like, skirting along on its radiator. And then it whacks.
Ooh.
It's like, ah. And then for some reason all the momentum goes out of the movement.
We could probably cut the shot at that point. Actually, that's pretty early on in the shot, isn't it?
It is pretty early on.
Yeah, okay.
What's hanging it up? It's there to there, isn't it? So what we'll do is we'll just get rid of that. And
we've got a suggestion of physic powers. Who's that? Is that Suzanne who has physic powers? Oh, psychic. Well, it's stupid me. I don't know who's got psychic powers. Suzanne has psychic powers.
Maybe she does. She's a psychic monkey. She's certainly a psycho monkey.
I mean, she's got oranges. I don't think she's been brought up that well. I mean...
Look at that. That's pretty fun. What have we made?
What is this?
What have we made? Oh my god.
God. Okay.
Bang.
Can we bring the van into it?
Yes, we should. So here's where we stand. Right, so we come out of the van. Noah's expecting what happens next. So we probably want a bit of energy around here. We want a bit of like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, good idea.
A little bit of drift, and then we'll and then so we want a much quicker rotation to Z there, don't we? So we want to come like, whoa, bang. Just to kind of give it some energy, and then, right, so then we need to introduce the van, the bad guy, Mr. Farmer / market person / whatever the hell.
But I have a feeling that Suzanne's also driving this as well.
Oh, so she's chasing herself? Is that what we're saying?
She's chasing herself, but we don't know that yet at this point. We don't need to establish this. I think we find this out at the end of the scene.
Okay.
So 2 Suzannes.
So you're 2
maybe multiple Suzannes, because I think there could be Suzanne's driving the Bugattis as well.
So we probably want this guy up here and then like there maybe. Like it's dodged round that car. And then we want it at the end as well. Like there. So we'll do that. Probably want it getting nice and close, don't we? Nice and close up. All up.
Keep it nice and lively. Right up there.
Give it that sort of framing there.
Wow, he's doing pretty well.
It's a
catching up.
Very fast van that this person has.
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
It's a V8.
We need to.
V8 in the van.
It's a V8. It's more like a V20 or something in that van. Let's be honest. It's got all the cylinders.
Okay, it's a V20. How many litres in that V20 though? Is it 0.1 litre?
It's just all litres, all of it, the whole van.
All of the litres.
Is litres.
It's just litres, yes.
Just
I don't think.
Yeah,
we
would. Days.
What's its mile per gallon? 0.1 miles per gallon.
1 foot. 1 foot per gallon.
1 foot per gallon. Nice.
Right, so we come out of there.
Yeah.
So maybe we want the van like quite close, and then it has to back off because there's a massive Veyron explosion right next to it.
Of course.
So we probably want. Let's just do that, shall we?
Do you think a Bugatti's ever crashed into another Bugatti? Probably.
Maybe at the Bugatti.
Very
shop.
unlikely. Does that count there? Not on the road.
Don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think anyone's ever asked that question.
I suspect not.
Akas is saying, no. Akas is saying this world is getting deep. Now there's cloning. Yeah, I think there's cloning. I think Suzanne has been cloned. And she's playing every role in this.
Planet of the Suzannes. And there it is. So there, it looks like we get a nice little like peek of it coming in behind. Oh, it's coming close.
Oh yeah, nice, nice.
And it has to like.
Oh, it had to swerve back.
Dive out the way.
Suzanne did it. Suzanne swerved out of the way of Suzanne there.
Did it on purpose. Did it on purpose there.
Oh.
So we're gonna just make it come there, and then we'll go. I'm gonna rotate there. Start drifting.
Maybe at this point we let Suzanne, who is who's got the oranges, overtake the camera, and which makes the green 20-cylinder van come more prominent.
Yep, we can do that. So I think what I'll do is instead of doing it that way, I'll just move the camera forward. Oh, do you know what would be really cool? Is if we go into the van.
Yeah.
And show Suzanne 2. So we go.
So we're going straight from. We're just revealing that Suzanne's chasing Suzanne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with it.
Cool.
Now, I also think that in the back of the van, there needs to be something. What do we think?
Oh, look, it's got seats in it, kind of.
That's handy. Hey, seats and cars are useful.
They sure are, I guess.
What can we put that orange?
There's a steering wheel on that side, so this is clearly.
I mean, who cares? It's Suzanne. She doesn't use a steering wheel.
No. Right.
So what is Suzanne carrying in her truck?
So
What would
this to be?
Could be a chasing Suzanne. What would she be carrying with her? Maybe she's got a weapon. You know, build the tension.
Just gonna get into that van position.
That is an amazing idea.
What's
Captain Magic Fur has suggested that in the back of the van, she has captured more Suzannes in the back, and they're jiggling, obviously. Oh, and Akas just says as long as they're jiggling, it seems like.
Clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
Clearly. So I think at this stage we should probably have it. We'll have this guy come across again.
We've got a confirmation of the jiggling. So, and how many Suzannes are in the back of the van? I think there should be 20 because there are 20 Suzannes and 20 cylinders in this van.
Okay. Well,
A Suzanne for each cylinder.
one Suzanne for every cylinder.
Whereas there's only one Suzanne in that car, so there's one cylinder. Ooh, that's nice. So it goes over the top.
Yeah. And then this needs to come back to here. Am I right? Oops.
Now, here's a question for the chat. Are the Suzannes in the back? Are they on the same team as the Suzanne in the van, or have they been captured? Obviously, they're jiggling.
Okay, I know you can clean it up a bit, but essentially,
Okay, they've been captured. We've got confirmation they've been captured.
okay, they've been captured. So
Yeah. Thank you, Captain Magic, for that.
we'll come and clean this up a bit another time, but
Through.
yeah. So
Okay, I like it. And then lingers on front Suzanne. Now, is there a way that we can go on to front Suzanne and then reveal the captured Suzannes
maybe
afterwards to mirror the reveal of the oranges?
Well, I think we need to put in our actors first and
Yes.
foremostly, so that we can get a sense of position for these guys. Which means that we need to add in another.
I think it's unrealistic that one Suzanne could capture 20 Suzannes. So I think that there should be two Suzannes in the front seats.
Oh, okay. So it's the troublesome two Suzannes.
Two Suzannes,
So
yes.
two Suzannes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna add.
Really utilising Suzanne here.
Well, I mean, you know, it is the cliched
May as well.
model thing. You know,
Yeah,
so we may
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, take full advantage. Yeah.
There's Suzanne number 1.
Suzanne 1. Should we come up with a name for her? Can you?
Anne.
I think this is Mary.
Mary.
Because we can't have them all Suzanne.
We're gonna call this one Mary.
Oh no, her name could be Mary Suzanne.
Mary Sue.
Mary Sue. There we go. Yeah,
Mary
that's nice.
Sue. There we go. And then this Mary Sue gets parented to. Hello. Gets parented to this with a transfer. So now Mary
Captain
Sue.
Magic Fur has said he's googled for Suzanne memes, and he's disappointed to say that it isn't a thing.
Oh.
So I think this is our time that we can make this a meme.
They can make this meme. Okay.
Yes, this live stream will make the meme. I think
it will. Hello, welcome,
Black
community, to
this
the
is
thing
the beginning.
you never wanted, Suzanne the meme. So we've got Mary Sue.
Mary Sue, yep.
Mary Sue, and we need.
I think the accomplice should be Susu.
Susu.
Yep. I don't think we're going to go through naming all the captives. I think we'll leave it.
Yes.
We'll leave that. They could be called the Jigglers.
The Jigglers.
Yeah. Jiggle Sue.
Jiggle Sue.
Yeah. They're a collective of Sues.
Jiggle Sue.
That sounds like a type of food.
And Jiggle Sue.
And Susu.
And Susu. It's going to rename this. The Suvan.
Is it the Suvan?
Empty.
Oh god. Is it the Jiggle Suvan though?
This is a UAZ 452, which is not acceptable.
I thought it was.
Suvan. Thank you so much. Right, so we've got our two bad Sues.
Hold on, we need protagonist Sue. We can just call her. Just call her Pro Sue.
Pro Sue. Prosumer. Pro Sue. Her. Pro Sue her. Who knows? Also, they're driving cars from.
Doesn't really matter.
For some reason, but never mind. That's a bit of a glitch, but
Whoa, yeah, wow, yeah,
bit,
that's something.
it's a bit funky. I think that's another case of the Béziers. Is it? Or is it just a bit rubbish? Maybe that's where we want a Bezier. Can we Bezier that one specifically? I think we can. Oh, no. The answer
Is
to
the
that,
camera going into the face? Is that why it's doing that?
yeah, it's just getting a bit too close there.
Akaz is saying that we should leave it like that because it's going into the mind of Suzanne.
Well,
Or Mary Sue.
Mary Sue.
Yeah.
Mary, not Suzanne. Check your
No.
I was gonna say, why don't you change this because it's not in camera view. Right, we want to be like there. It's being frustrating to me now. Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it.
Okay, I think we're somewhere. Okay, right, anyway.
Perfect.
I don't know that perfect is the word I'd use. Better.
No, perfect in my eyes. This is my vision.
So I kind of feel like we should just wall off the back of the van and then have it as a separate shot.
What as a separate shot?
All the extra Suzannes in the back of the van.
Okay, yeah.
That can be a reveal later on, maybe.
Ah, yeah, I like it. We don't want to reveal all the Suzannes. I think we should like pan over to Susu.
Okay, so we're gonna have to extend. The
Susu
shot
need.
a bit more.
You could either pan or just.
Hell, let's just. What do we say? Like another second, maybe. Let's bring it up to 270.
Yeah, fine. I mean, she's not that important.
The good thing about this is because we're now in the van, we can't actually tell movement, so we can cheat.
Ah, yeah, the van doesn't need to keep on moving. Yes. Oh, nice little whip pan. Whip pan.
It's a bit of a kind of like boom up and.
Now, can we?
I could do with some work.
I mean, that's a way to put it, but you know, I think that's looking good for now. That's good.
It'll do. It's rough. In the.
It's looking good though.
The roughest sense. I mean, hey, we set out to make a car chase in a couple of hours, and we've done something.
We've made an establishing shot, and look, let's put it this way: it's got two Bugattis crashing.
It's got a Bugatti crash.
Yeah, but they're fine though. It's only paintwork, so you know, not a big problem.
Maybe this can be creating a car chase part 1.
I mean, how many parts is this going to have?
Many parts.
Many parts.
many parts.
I mean, I really want to know what is going to happen to Pro Sue.
Prosume her.
Mm.
There she is.
And Susu. Yep, Captain Magifo is saying Bugatti is the new Nokia 3310. Yes.
I don't know.
It is. Well, in the sense that there's lots of them and it's indestructible.
Yes. Maybe. I mean, you know, maybe at some point we can add some smoke sims and fire and stuff. Should we
I sort of have a feeling that we need to get this shot. We need to concentrate on getting this shot super realistic.
Should we go really deep in it? We'll just make this one like
yeah,
actually good.
photo real
photo real, apart from
with
all the
Suzanne.
nonsense,
Apart from not being photo real.
apart from being total nonsense. Right, what I'm going to do
wow.
is we'll have a little material preview of
You
this.
saved.
Oh, thank you. Yes, very good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose this.
No, not at all. So we'll have a little material preview, so we can get a bit of a sense of speed. Bang! There it is.
Good.
Oh,
Over into the van.
Oh.
Pan over. Whoa. I mean, you're really getting a sense of speed there.
Yeah, I mean, because what I was going to say is, obviously, it's very difficult if you look at the just the grade version. You can't really tell speed at all from that. So that's why I wanted to come into a material preview, just because it gives you a sense. And the other thing that you can do is, if we add lots more 3D objects which are kind of stood up, like for example, we can add in lampposts pretty easily because it's just a big old stick. Stuff that gives you parallax, basically, that gives you a sense of where things are within the scene. You add that sense of speed.
Can I have one last request?
Yes.
Because I think it's needed. Can we, in the obviously,
Clearly.
I think it'll really add to it. Can we, in the Bugatti that comes close up near the start, can we get rid of the windows and put a Suzanne in it?
We sure can. And then I think
okay, that's good, because you can just
we might call it
we'll
tonight after
leave it
that.
there. Yeah.
Where is it?
Ackers is saying we should have a speedo saying they're doing 5 miles an hour.
Well, I think what would be
we
cool
can go to a close up.
What would be cool for future streams? I would love to carry this on in some respects because it makes a few points whilst also being very silly. Very silly.
Yeah, I probably haven't helped with that.
No, but it makes it entertaining, doesn't it? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyone entertained by this? I kind of am.
Captain Magic Fur has said he'd tune into more of this, so there we go. There we go.
I mean,
We've got at least one.
At least one person will turn up for part 2 of whatever it is that this is. Who knows?
This is how Pixar started.
Well.
No, it's probably not.
No. Now, let me ask you this: is Busu?
Yeah.
For she shall be known as Busu.
Busu. Okay. Yeah.
Driving left or right?
I think she's driving in the center.
In the center. Okay.
Yeah.
She's real.
Yeah. In this world, it's like the McLaren F1 because they have seats in the center.
Okay.
Perfect. And I think she has. Whoa! Heads outside the screen. Yeah. Now I think. Oh, I was about to say something. I don't think we should do that. Okay. Yeah, let's not do that. Oh no, we could. No, let's not. Let's leave it. There's one Suzanne. One Suzanne is enough.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a question saying from Captain Magic for when is the next stream planned for?
So our rough planning is to do every Saturday at 9 o'clock. Obviously, it depends on circumstances. I think we should be able to do next Saturday at 9. If we can start getting numbers through the door. Not that I haven't actually checked how we're doing. There's 3 of us here at the moment. If we start getting more popular and there's more incentive for us to make more time to do stuff, then hopefully we'll do things more often. But at the very least, once a week, probably Saturdays at 9 o'clock.
I mean, we need to finish this film.
Circumstances allowing. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to continue this in another stream. But there's lots of other things that we want to cover in streams as well.
Proper filmmaking.
Do you mean this is not proper filmmaking? My goodness.
Oh
Blasphemy.
my gosh.
Blasphemy.
Oh.
There's a lot.
Do you know what?
There's
I
lots of
think
things to cover in streams that we want to have out there. But
I think
it may be that we make
sorry.
a whole separate series out of whatever this is. Suzanne the Chase.
I think Kyle's input on this would be quite interesting.
It would be funny. Well, maybe we'll do like a half.
What would Kyle do?
We'll see
And
where we're at. But certainly we'll do some more of this at some point. And we will try and put on our Twitch schedule what it is that we're planning to do, so that if we're going to do specifically this, then we'll do that. We're also planning to do some things about editing in Premiere, which Ben will hopefully be doing some stuff.
yeah.
As well as many other things. I'll do a visual effects breakdown of one of the shots from the trailer, which is actually, you know, like a proper shot and not this whatever this is. But I'd love to. Wouldn't it be fun if we got this to a point where it was like really spectacularly good? Like,
you mean not story wise?
Well, not story wise, but even if we just took this one
You mean
shot, visually,
that would
because
be...
there's no reason why we can't you know, do the road properly, add a bunch of parallaxy stuff, have some explosions, like actual explosions with the Bugattis. We can clean this up so much just very simply, but wouldn't it be fun to take this to a point where it's actually good, and then you know, do something.
We can release it.
We can release it, our little 10-second clip over many streams, and then people can come and look and see how this all started for some.
Yeah, and it's been led by the stream as well, not just my crazy ideas and Josh's crazy ideas.
It has to be said, this has been really fun. I've enjoyed this a lot. It's nuts. It's totally nuts, but really fun.
Oh yeah, and Axe is saying WWKD. What would Kyle do?
Goodness no.
I mean, that is I don't know. I mean, this is pretty crazy.
This is very crazy.
Yeah,
right,
I didn't know this was possible.
Save this guy. We'll minimize you. Bring us back. And we will stop that. Oh, I've done that thing again, haven't I? Wait. There it is. There it is. It's us.
Yeah.
We need to make that
slicker
for next time, but also
That's
not. We will.
Don't worry. Look at what else we've done.
The insanity that is the Suzanne car chase.
What a productive stream.
It was different. I've enjoyed this. This has been.
It was certainly different. Yeah, it's been good.
So
thank you for all the comments.
Yeah, no, thank you for like.
It's been great.
Having fun with us, because this genuinely has been a lot of fun. And we will definitely be doing more of this at some point.
Yeah. I really want to know what happens to Susu.
Because who knows?
And the jiggling oranges.
With her bananas.
Susu and the jiggling oranges.
Oh, with her oranges.
Captain Moses says he's had a really good time.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here, and thank you.
I hope more people come and see this. Yeah, so do we. We hope more people come and see this.
Yeah, whatever this is.
But thank you for being here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, from small things grow bigger things.
Should we leave it on that?
We'll leave it on that. I will.
Yeah, leave it on that.
In case anyone happens to watch this on YouTube later on. Hello, if you watch this on YouTube later on, or if you're watching this back on Twitch later on. Thank you. I will leave with the two trailers again, because ultimately we are plugging the films, which we'll be releasing on Post Sanity at some point. A lot of the stuff that we've gone through in tonight's stream does apply to things that exist in those two films. Obviously, just a much better way than this insanity. But the basic principles are there. But yes, thank you all so much for being with us through this craziness.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching if you're watching later, and we will see you very soon.
See you next week, hopefully.
Yes, indeed.